I myself, the producer of this podcast, is not eligible to diagnose anyone with a mental health disorder. This podcast is purely for artists discussing the mental health hurdles they struggle with on a daily basis. Jen Buonaguro is a content creator, writer, videographer, video editor, and co-creator and co-host of Double Feature Creature show on YouTube. She studied improv at the Upright Citizens Brigade in New York City. She studied improv at the Upright Citizens Brigade in New York City and attended a television writing course at NYU. She's currently finishing her associate's degree in liberal arts, during which she discovered her passion and talent for videography and video editing. She spends most of her days sleeping, being a pet mom, and feeling like a directionless millennial. So here's Jen and I talking about shifting careers, the imposter syndrome when it comes to shifting careers, and much more. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, Jen, thank you for coming on today for our episode. And how do you properly pronounce your last name?
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem.
Jen Buonaguro is how I say it. I'm open to however you want to pronounce it, though.
I was going to say Buonaguro, but
that's pretty good.
But thank you for, like I said, thank you for coming on. I've been prefacing this in some episodes. Some people I know, some people I don't know. I've known of you since like 2006 because I worked with your sister at Pac Sun. And then your sister was such an awesome person. She would always talk about how you guys are super close. Like, I'm very close with my sister too. I just even see it like on social media how close you guys are. It's awesome. And then when I posted about this, you like jumped all over like I'm interested, and you kind of came to the table with like kind of like the mental effects an artist would have by like switching careers in your late 20s. Now, I don't know how you're feeling about being in your late 20s if you're like, oh my God, my life is over. Because I felt that way. I when I was 28, 29, I was like, the best part of my life is like, the best decade of my life is ending. And now I'm going to be in my 30s. Like, what? And can I switch? Can I do that? So first of all, what, if you want to kind of give a little just like brief history of like who you are, what careers you like, you quote unquote changed and what you're doing now.
I think I'd first like to talk about if I care that I'm about to not be in my 20s anymore, because
just to preface it, we have an awesome puppy. Yep. You hear that? Named Beans, who
wants to be part.
Who's going to be joining us. I don't have a mic for you, Beans.
She's trying
I'm
to
sorry.
bite the mic. You gotta sit.
Yeah, I did an episode with my wife, like the opening episode, and my dog was wanted to be a part of it so bad. So, but she's awesome. So yeah, I don't know, like if you want to speak on, I guess.
Yeah.
When are you turning 30?
In August of this year. Half of me is like, I don't want to be like mad or upset that I'm turning 30. Like, it's not that like the number. It's mostly like me feeling like I haven't accomplished enough in my life, and I'm constantly feeling that. I feel like a lot of people are, especially like our generation of, if you want to call them millennials, I guess we can. But maybe people have always felt that way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think our generation is a generation that is feeling a lot more. But at the same time, I've brought this up in previous episodes, like, and I guess every generation can say they've been through a lot, but we've been through the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
Like, we've been through a lot. Like, 13 years old, like, I was 13.
I was
9/11. Yeah. Yeah, you were younger, which is more traumatizing. 9/11, and then just, we can keep going and going and going. But I think it's been a little bit more traumatic. And, like my parents, they lived, the Vietnam War. So I do think millennials have been through a lot. And so, like I said, I'm 34. People 10 years above me are still very weirded out by like, oh my God, two guys are kissing on camera, or like, yeah, they're very weird about it. I would say some people even my age are maybe a little weird about it.
In different parts of the country.
In different parts
world.
of the country. Yeah. But, I don't know any teenagers. I'm not friends with any teenagers. That'd be a little weird. But I feel like you hear them and their move, like, with the Lakeland Park shooting, or just things like they're just very, they're taking a stand, and like they're a lot more they're a lot wiser than I was when I was 17 or 18
Oh yeah,
because I
for
didn't give a shit
sure.
about anything when I was 17 or 18. So we're on that like cusp of like, excuse me, we're very well educated. Personally, I think we are very open to a lot, in sense of like if one of our friends came out or one of our friends wanted to transition or anything like that. Like for me, I don't think it would be a weird thing, you know. So like we're out of the generation where like we're accepting it all, and then hopefully, if and when we have kids, we kind of pass it down to be like this is all okay, like this is just the way it is, you know.
Yeah, I think it's already happening. Honestly, I'm very in the TikTok community.
Okay, no, I know I'm the only one who's not. My friends who are in 30s are like, get on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not a
Yeah.
13-year-old like boy, no.
No,
And they
I'm
were
like
like, no, you
trying.
need it. Like, no, I hear TikTok's really good. I'm not.
I'm like trying to pursue a career on TikTok.
With what?
But I just nothing. You know
You're
what
just
I
fucking
mean.
around?
I would just love to be TikTok famous.
Okay.
No. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I think that like kids, Gen Z and below, I don't know if there is a below, but whatever. They're almost like, as far as when it comes to like LGBTQ plus issues, they are very much like, what do you mean? Of course everyone's gay. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, like this is the energy we need.
Yeah.
Yes, we all are gay.
Yes, we all of
But
us.
no, they're very accepting, and it's great because I feel like our times are coming to a time where it's not acceptance, it's not tolerance, it's just fact. It's there, and it's love. I just think it's great how far we've come, even in our 30 something years of life, just to see the younger generations and like all the stepping stones that the people before us have done to make it this way, that this generation.
I remember when I was like 12 or 13, I was like, Dad, I have no idea. Like, I don't know if I'm gay or not. Like, I said that to him, and he kind of laughed. He's like, I've seen you break your neck looking at women. Like, you're not gay, but even if you were, like, I know it would be tough for you because of just the world that is. He's like, but I
Right.
would love you regardless. I think that is the best answer
Oh yeah.
I could ever hear. Like anyone could ever hear. And the
Yeah.
fact that people who are afraid to come out and
Don't have a support
system like that, that's a thing that I just don't. Like I said, you know, I don't live in that world, so I'm not. You know, I none of my friends have come out, none of my family members have come out, so I'm not sure. Like I'm not privy to that world, but you would hope that like everyone around you would be like, no, that's it is what it is. Like I think we kind of just give a shit a little bit too much about people's lifestyle, or
Yeah, like these people,
like it doesn't really matter. Like I don't want to say it like that because it does matter.
doesn't if it
But it
doesn't
really
affect
doesn't-
you at all, it just makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like screw you. Like this isn't about you.
I agree.
Fuck
I
off.
agree. I agree. So, yeah. So, Jen, you off air, I asked you like, you know, when did you switch careers, and you said at the beginning or sometime in the height, really, of the pandemic. And you want to just like kind of talk a little bit about that, like what made you do that? What were you doing before? What you're doing now?
Sure.
And I just would love to hear that because I keep telling the audience, all our guests pick these topics to talk about, and that's what I'm all for that. So I'm really excited to hear like what your story is.
Okay. Well, basically, straight out of high school, I went to, or no, actually, while I was in high school, I was going to hair school because I was like, I'm going to be a hairstylist. I know I don't want to work in an office. Like, I know that that's never going to be my life. I did want to go to college, mostly because my family told me I have to.
Would you have gone? Like, would you?
Well,
like,
I did
going back,
briefly go.
Where'd you go?
I went to UCC briefly when I was
So did
Union County College.
So did
if
I.
You don't know? Yeah.
Back in the day, I went. Oh, you're currently
I'm
okay.
currently
Awesome.
back
Awesome.
there.
Yeah, I went there 10, 12 years ago because I didn't go to college right away.
Right.
I worked at PacSun for like 40 hours a week with your
Yeah,
sister.
there you go.
And I didn't go to college. So yeah, so you went to at the time you were going to a trades school for hair.
Yeah. So what are they? The junior and senior years of high school, I went to VOTEC in Scotch Plains, vocational school for hair. And then and I got a job at a salon when I was like 17. But then I did briefly go to Union County College for about a year when I graduated high school. And I just was like, I don't care about any of this. Like I know I'm going to do hair. So what's the point of me even like doing well in school right now? Like I don't care. So I left school and I did hair for 10 years. And
Wow. From 18 to 28?
From
So
like 17 to like, 27-ish.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Age numbers.
Whatever.
We
yeah.
don't know how to count.
They don't exist.
So, okay. It wasn't even fully the pandemic that made me stop. Honestly, I was just feeling very like stifled. I was working 40 plus hour weeks. They were like 10-hour days. So I wasn't even working every day. I was working
4 days a week, right?
4 days
4 or
a
5
week,
days a week, yeah.
10-hour days. One of them being a Saturday from 9 to 5, which we'll talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Which was very difficult for me because I cannot wake up early. The other days were like 10 to 8 or 12 to 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a later in the day. She can
which
figure
I prefer,
it out.
Which I prefer.
Yeah.
I prefer that. I wish the job I'm at now was I could do like 10 to 6, 11 to 7.
Are you currently at like a 9 to 5?
Yes, I am, but it's what I went to school for.
What is it?
It is, I work for a company that sells cigars for like JR Cigars, cigars.com. So I write content for it. I film reviews, podcasts, interviews, run the YouTube channel. I do all that. So that's what I like went to school for.
Well, when you say you went to school for it, like what do you mean?
Digital filmmaking. And
okay.
I went to the Art Institute of Jacksonville, and one piece of advice I would give you if you want to get into film is don't go to school for it necessarily. Like go to UCC maybe, but go on set. If you want to write, find someone who is a director, who's an actor, or if you want to act, audition. Like just get out there.
Do it.
Just, and I'm not. It's going to be hard. Don't get me wrong, but I'm happy I'm only happy I got my degree because of the job I have now.
Right.
But before that, my degree didn't mean shit because I moved back to Jersey and I was right back in retail.
See,
so it was it really kind of like fucked with me mentally, and I'm happy where I'm at now. Like, but if there's ever a day where someone's like, Chris, yeah, we're gonna sign you to a deal to produce a movie, right? I'm fucking out. No 2 weeks notice, no nothing. Like I'm fucking gone. I'm bringing my wife and my dog with me wherever it may be, because that is my ultimate. That's my ultimate goal. So but back to you. You were around 27, 28, I guess. So you were feeling stifled way before the pandemic, I'm assuming,
right? And
then the pandemic just kind of gave you.
It did give me the last like push. So I had already cut my hours at the salon because I was like, I feel something in me that like this isn't enough for like, because I've always just like felt like a performer.
How'd they take that, by the way, when you cut your hour? I'm just curious.
Oh, they took it well because I wanted to quit, and they were like, no, how about you just work less? And I was like, fine, I guess.
Okay.
and
fine, I guess.
I was like, I guess I'll stay because you need me here, because I still am. I'm going to toot my own horn. Very good at doing hair. I spent 10 years, and this will come into play later about our imposter syndrome. Yes. It all ties together.
Everything's going to tie together, we swear.
But I had never I had never really known what depression was in my life. I like have heard of it. I knew other people experienced it. I knew that in my brain, I was like, oh, it just means you're really sad. When I was at this job doing hair, and I was making a good amount of money, my clients loved me. I was booked all the time. I was doing really well, like work-wise. I started to feel this that's the only way I can describe it, was like a cloud hanging in like the front of my brain. And I was like, what is this? Like, it was like painful, like sadness.
Really?
Yeah. It was like
while you were at work, before you were going to work, or all facets of the day?
While I wasn't working on clients, like if I like while I was like in the back, like just like taking like cleaning or
Yeah.
like, you know, taking some time for myself, it was just like I was like, oh my God, I'm miserable here with these people.
Were you at the same salon for 10 years?
I bounced around, but this was the salon that I worked at most. Like I
Okay.
went back and forth. I went back to this salon like 3 times, like a bad toxic ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
So
He'll change, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
The store will change, I swear it will.
So yeah, I realized I was super depressed there, and I was like, I don't care. I was making the most I had ever made and have since made. I was making good money, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I have to go. Like it. I don't want to do this anymore.
I think that's a you know, for everyone just listening right there, I think that's very important because, you know, right now I'm currently making the most money I've ever made, but I also enjoy my job. I really do, because I'm actually getting to write every day. I'm getting to film and take pictures every day. I'm getting to create. I'm getting to meet different manufacturers. Like I'm getting to do things that I necessarily wouldn't be able to do at any other job. Like if I was getting paid this much at retail, I know I would still hate my life, because retail is the worst. I think it has to be one of the worst. And maybe, you know, there's other bad jobs out there, or maybe I'm speaking as a first world problem person, but retail is the fucking worst because of how people, I don't know how many times people would walk in and be like, my son's 12. What size is he?
I have similar.
Is he 3 feet tall? Is he 7 feet tall? Is he like what?
I had moms come in and be like, here's my young, like, I don't know, 6-year-old boy. Give him a haircut. I'm like, what kind of haircut? And they're like, a little boy's haircut. What do you think? And I'm like, that could be 25 different things.
What was your defining moment of like, this is it? Like, okay, my hours are cut back. Honestly, I guess I'll take a, you know, you're getting paid well, but your hours are cut back. So you're kind of like, what was that moment where you were like, nah, fuck it. Even if I'm cut like 20 hours, like what was the moment where you were where it changed in your head?
Like I said, I had been feeling like I wanted to do something else. I was actually taking like an, what do you call it? A non-credit writing course at NYU, just to like, cause I was like, I need to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah. You were saying, before I cut you off, I apologize. You were saying that you always felt like you were a performer.
Right.
Can you go into that?
I just really like feel happiest when I'm like in front of people and like, I don't know. Like I love
when you're with
singing,
your friends and you're
I love
joking,
doing karaoke. Yeah, when I'm with my friends and joking.
And you're joking, you love when people are laughing at your jokes and shit.
I'm
right?
a Leo. I feel like that's important.
I don't know what that means. I'm a Scorpio.
Okay. So Leos, we get a bad rap for like wanting to be the center of attention, which I do.
Which I love, but that's neither here nor there.
I can't deny it. It's in my stars, okay? And I just like, I don't know, it's just a pull in me that I feel people were like, "Oh, Jen, you want to do something in the entertainment business and you're doing hair. Why don't you do hair in movies?" I'm like, "Because I don't want to be behind the camera. I want to be in front of the camera." I would be mad and jealous if I was doing hair on movie sets. Like I'd be pissed.
Yeah, no. I that's pretty funny that you say that, because I was just about to ask, like, well, why don't you do hair on the movie sets?
Well, I could help you.
No, not now. I don't need independent films. We just use a comb and that's that.
Oh,
yeah, I know it's terrible.
Put me on call for that. I'll help you.
Yes, we just do fucking comb. Good, it's not frizzy, but that's things like that we definitely need to know. But for you and your career, you didn't want to be behind the scenes. You wanted to be in front of the lights and the camera.
Right. And I also wanted to create like if I'm going to go, like I said, I like writing, and I was working on, or I guess I've been working on for like 6 years, but never finishing like a screenplay or like teleplay, whatever.
For a movie, for TV.
I'm thinking TV short series or whatever. But like, even that was more to me, more of myself, because with hair, yes, it's considered a creative field, but honestly, you don't get a lot of room to move unless a client comes in, and this is like 1 in 500 is like, do whatever you want. Like that doesn't happen. It's normally fucking moms being like, but like hovering over your shoulder being like, cut it exactly this way. Or like people who've been doing their hair the same for 20 years and they want you to keep it the exact same. Like that doesn't leave a lot of room for creativity.
You could say guys, it's okay.
No, I actually was picturing like 50-year-old women who have been getting the same hair color and cut for 20 years.
Since
it's not a bad thing. No, they look good with it, but it's not exciting to me.
Yeah, no, that makes it's from a different perspective. But you're right. There's a lot of people out there, majority are like very boring with their hair. I've always joked with my wife. I was like, what if I did a role where I had to dye my hair like fucking Eminem? Like I had to bleach that shit.
Call me, I'll do it.
And she was like, no. I was like, it's for a role. Like, how many times do you see actors do that? Like, I just recently started watching Euphoria. I finished it. And that kid, I finished. I'm all caught up fucking nuts. But that kid, Elliot, he's got like that blonde and brown hair. Like
that's a good vibe.
That gives a look to a character. You look at actors, they don't have the same hairstyle in movies. They don't even TV shows. Like I grew up loving Friends. Their hairstyles, their wardrobe.
Rachel's hair was iconic,
changing,
and every time it changed, it was a big deal.
Chandler too. For me, like his look always changed. But you're right, Rachel, and her hair changed a lot. So those are things you don't really think about per se. Like when I saw Ryan Gosling in one of my favorite movies, A Place Beyond the Pines, bleach blonde hair, face tattoos, I was like, oh, this is different,
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying. Like you felt very stagnant in your career, and you've been doing it since you were 17.
Yeah.
Like I personally think your 20s is when you're supposed to find out like what you want to do, and you were already like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I didn't. That's the thing.
You thought you knew what you were doing.
I thought I did when I was young because
you were making money and you were young, and when you're 20, 21, like, oh, you're making good money.
You're going
what
out
responsibilities do you have? Yeah, you're going out. You're like, fuck it. Well, the only place you could really go and get drunk, like when you're 20, like for me anyway, I don't want to speak for you. I was like Applebee's, and then people were like, no, we're going to fucking clubs. And I was like, okay. But no, I know you weren't. That's why I said
I had a fake ID. I was going to dive bars.
Okay, yeah.
And drag shows.
Yeah, dive bars. I didn't know till I moved to Florida, and they were some of the best. But yeah, no, my 21st birthday was pathetic. TGI Fridays all the way. But I didn't know anything about beer. I wasn't a rebel like you.
Wait, what was your first legal drink that you ordered? Do you know? Do you remember?
I think I do. I think it had to do. It was a beer paired alongside 3 shots of tequila. Yeah, I was ready to go ham. God. Yeah, I was ready to go ham. But I was drinking and smoking a lot as a minor, not
right.
So I was kind of like, yeah, I liked it, but I guess I went out with a bunch of my friends who were just like, gonna keep buying you shit. Oh, yeah, and then I puked. Obviously, that's as one should.
Yeah, you should. It's your 21st birthday.
But yeah, I can't go out drinking in public again. Like I've gone out a few times. Like in my 20s, I was just I was so reckless,
Yeah.
But like you're saying, you're finding yourself at that age. So you were saying like you didn't know who you were, right?
No. And I was like I said, it was like, oh, I'm going to choose hair because it's something I like and I'm interested in. And I know I don't want to be locked down. Like going to college to me was like locking down, doing like something corporate or, obviously it's not that. But in my brain, I was like, well, I don't know what else I like. So I'm picking this. I stick to it. And by the way, my employer at the time, the bad ex-boyfriend of an employer, not that I dated them, but you get the drift. Well, I was working there while I was at college the first time, and they were like, just stop going to college and work here all the time.
Definitely bad
We need you. So, yeah, it was toxic when I was 17. And just all I was doing there was folding towels and washing hair, mind you.
Wow.
Sweeping. Oh, and cleaning.
Sweeping.
Cinderella-ing around.
Yeah. Without the glass slipper. What did your parents think of that?
My dad was very disapproving of me going to vocational school at the time because he was like, if you don't go to college now, you're never going to go to college. Joke's on you, Dad. I love you. But not only have I been doing your hair for the past 10 years.
For free, I'm sure.
But now I'm back in college, Dad.
What are you going to college for?
Sorry.
You love that line. You're definitely going to write that down somewhere.
I started going back to college during the pandemic because I was like, what else am I doing?
Yeah, I mean, trying to survive is one thing I was trying to do, and you were out here being like, I'm just gonna.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna sign
Please
up for
don't give me
college.
credit like that.
Well,
It was.
I didn't decide to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to college again. Like that's a big deal.
Bored by September of 2020.
I was so bored.
I was sitting home.
These four walls were killing me.
But I didn't have the dog yet.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, by September, a lot of people were going back to work, and I was like, I don't want to go back to work. First of all, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Also,
just don't want to do anything.
Like, my mom is 60 and was smoking a lot and whatever. Everybody had their own reasons, but I fully was like, I don't want to go back to work yet. I'm not ready. I also, again, speaking of doing hair in the pandemic, I don't want to touch people anymore.
I mean,
people are disgusting, or have them breathing in my face. Like,
makes me feel really good as a person. People are awful. So why would I cut their hair? But you're right. Like cutting hair, like getting my hair cut during the pandemic was, I had to check my goddamn temperature. Like I was going to the doctor. I felt really bad, and it made me tip more because they're like, they gotta check your fucking temperature and then cut your hair, and they're not getting paid enough for that.
No, and you think about it this way. I mean, I was cutting hair the day that they decided to close down salons, which took them. It was like 2 weeks after they shut down schools, so we were already like freaked out. And when you're cutting somebody's bangs,
No, I don't know.
Well, but if you've ever had the front of your hair cut,
oh yeah.
I'm standing not 6 inches face to face from you. Like that's horrific. There's a pandemic.
And that's the kind of
and
the
that was
things
before
you
people
don't.
were wearing masks.
And that's the thing you don't think about pre-pandemic, like how close we were to people. Subways, concerts, sporting events. We are on top of one another.
Oh yeah. So
are you a germaphobe?
I wasn't before.
And but now I think you probably are looking back and being like, the amount of people I've been so close to, it probably freaks you out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
So you didn't want to do the salon because I mean,
many
smart reasons, many reasons. Yeah. So you just like, what'd you go back to school for?
So I had started, I was just trying to get my associate's degree, and I chose to get it in liberal arts. So I figured just very broad liberal arts. Let's go. Fun. I'll just finish it up. And I ended up taking as, it was like a required, I don't know, communications or something. I did a digital video editing class.
Did you like it?
I'm obsessed now.
What do you edit on?
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yep.
That's what we learned in the class.
Nice.
And I also at the same time was taking a intro to digital storytelling class.
Like storyboarding?
It was like basically storytelling for digital media. So basically like just storytelling, but like everybody's making things in digital now.
Cool. Oh yeah.
So,
all right.
So the combination of those two things was great. One of my teachers I love to death. The other one, but he was good at teaching and taught me how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. And now I'm obsessed. I have it. I pay for it now because I'm just using it all the time.
Yeah, no, I love Adobe Suite. That's interesting. And I'm not just saying this because you're on my podcast. Your trajectory and like how you've gotten into it is kind of the same as mine. Like I fell in love with video editing at first because it's a storytelling form. You are writing, I love as a director, yes, you can tell stories, but like acting and writing to me is like where you really can explore a lot of it. And same with editing. Editing, you can make, you can make or break, you can make or break the film. Editing cannot save good acting, in my opinion.
No.
But editing there's a form there, like especially with like beginning editing courses where you have to like kind of tell a story with just like simple editing, like 101 skills.
Yeah.
I think that's what really got me into it. So it's really interesting how I don't want it to focus on me. It just, the more you talk, the more you're like, I went through all of this. Like
I would like for you to focus on you a little bit. I feel like I talk way too much.
No, I feel like I'm always talking about myself on this shit when that should be about the guest. But no, it's just interesting because everyone's path is obviously very, very different. But it's I always kind of gravitate towards the people who struggled like at first, like kind of figuring out like what's going on, because I I was very much that way. Like, I was terrible in high school. I didn't really give a shit about school, about education. I wasn't good at it. Like, I had learning disabilities, all that. So I was like, I don't give a fuck. Let me just work. But at some point, my mom sat me down. I was like, you're gonna need a college education. So like, you I know you love movies. Why don't you go to school for movies? I was like, they can't make a career out of that.
Right.
But I've been ever since moving back to Jersey, I've been a lot more successful than I was in Florida, and I think that makes me feel really good. So
Good.
so for you, when you took these courses, they were online, right?
Yeah, they were.
Because you don't live far from the campus.
No, I live like less than
which
a
is great.
mile.
I'm not going to try and let anyone. I'm not going to give out coordinates or anything in case there's some fucking weirdos out there. No offense, but yeah, you don't live that far. You don't live that far at all from the campus, which is a really nice campus for a community college, I think. Anyway, it's all right. It's just buildings. I know.
Well, I know. I made
like,
a face, but I meant because I just haven't seen enough community
Yeah.
college. I also went to Middlesex County College for
Middlesex.
also during the old 10 years ago time.
Nice.
I went, but that was nice too.
I lived down there in
UCC.
Middlesex County. I've never been, but I went to Essex County College right before I decided to go to college, and I took a writing course too.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the writing courses that get you, you know.
Us
Or
creatives.
film appreciation / writing courses. Like, we would watch a movie every class, and then have to write about the movie, like what we like, a review of it, and it's like, oh shit. And these weren't like, we're not watching like movies everyone likes. We're watching like old school movies that like are the reason movies are the way they are at that time. So what made you fall in love with writing and editing without really any background in it? What drew you to it?
Well, I've always loved writing, and I've always been like pretty good at just like getting my point. I've just been good at writing. I'm just going to say that. Tie that in a bow. I'm good at it.
Tie in a bow, send it
Imposter
off.
Syndrome, who?
Yeah, really. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I'm over here being like, I ain't shit. And she's like, no, I am
I'm
the
not
shit.
saying like I'm writing
No.
good
That's good. But you need that. You definitely need that.
I have good grammar and like you know what I mean?
You speak well.
I like.
I think that's very important. Like,
thank you.
if you're a writer and you don't speak that well,
yeah,
then you're gonna have a very.
I
tough
love
time.
me a persuasive essay. Like I love arguing with people. I think that's what it is. So
arguing. So I just turned the arguing into a persuasive essay.
Right. But then the video editing basically what happened was that I took the class, he showed us the basics, and one of the first assignments was that you had to create a music video. You could take a song that you like and make a music video for it. And I was like, dope.
That's awesome.
So I made it to, and I had previously only in class talked, because they would be like, show examples of editing you like. And I was very thick into my like Taylor Swift. I still am, but this was the beginning of my Taylor Swift like obsession. So I was like, oh, this Taylor Swift video. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do Taylor Swift for my music video that I'm going to make. So I picked a Carly Rae Jepsen song and I made a pop video and I lip synced in it. I did the works. I went to Jersey City and basically like had my friend film. I'd be like, can you take a shot of me doing this? I'll get a shot of like whatever. Put it together.
Did you have to replicate a music video already, or
no? I had to create my own music
that's
video
even better.
for the song. I can show it to you later.
Definitely, that's even better because I had to do assignments where we had to do like shot for shot replicate like movies.
That sounds really.
Oh
hard.
yeah, it was. We had a blast. We had a blast, but no, that's a lot harder in my opinion because you have to create a music video.
Really, I think yours is harder.
Why do you think that?
Because you have to be like really precise without like letting go and getting to be creative. Was that no?
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, but I think you kind of have the blueprint, for it. I did a scene from Matchstick Man, but I wish I did the toga scene from Animal House because that's one of my favorite for like comedies. I feel like it's just awesome. Or like I just kind of wish I went back and like one of my favorite movies is The Birdcage. So I just kind of wish I did something there and got to act in it because Robin Williams is like my hero.
You still can. You can still do it.
I could still do it, but like, I mean, I could do it, but like, I'd rather just create my own stuff. But I could do it. No, but you're right. I could still do it. Because you see it all the time. You see it all the time on social media where people are reenacting scenes and everything. So after that music video you did you present it to class? How did it go? How were you watching your own work first?
So it was all on remote live virtual. So it's like a Zoom call, right?
You're so lucky because you don't have to like sit there and like watch your
Well,
work.
no,
and be like, oh
but everybody's cameras were on.
Oh,
like my
okay.
camera had
All
to be
right.
on.
All right, then yeah, it's the same feeling.
And I
then.
was very stressed. I had been up until 5 o'clock in the morning perfecting it, and then even then, the class started at 6 p.m. I was working until 5:30 p.m. Like making it perfect, and then I had to export it. So basically, what happened was all class, it wasn't done exporting, so I was like freaking out. I'm telling my teacher, he's like, okay, basically, I go last and show it, and my teacher was like, well, it was worth the wait. Like that was like unbelievably
Holy
good.
shit.
Yeah.
It's always those people. It's always your students that take they're in the 11th, maybe even the 12th hour editing it. And I'm like, I got my shit done 2 weeks ago. What's up? And then it's the people who wait the 11th hour where it's like, holy fuck, that was amazing. I could point out 4 students I went to school with who were like, yeah, I need to go like last. Like this is like last. I need to go. And the teachers were very, very flexible. But yeah, no, that's awesome. How'd you feel after that?
Oh,
like a sense of like I should be doing this shit. I belong, right?
Yes. And there was, well, hold on. First, I want to say that I cannot really work unless I'm like procrastinating till the end. That's how I work.
Artists,
I can't
though.
no, that's what I'm saying. I can't 2 weeks prior be like, okay, it's done. Like there's no.
I was exaggerating.
Good.
I'm not. Yeah, if I'm directing, I like to get everything done like right away. Like I'm talking about like pre-production, like locations, food, rehearsing. Like I will rehearse until the day before the shoot, right? And I won't over rehearse. When it does come to like I hate saying it like this, but if I'm just acting in something, and I hate saying it like it's not just acting because it's still very important, but a lot of people are writer, director, like writer, actor, producer. If someone casts me in their project, I don't want to over rehearse it or overdo it. It's interesting, that movie that came out in 2020, The Devil All the Time, with like Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I did.
Oh, I love both of them. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It's intense.
Is it scary?
Not scary. It's just intense. It's brutal, bloody. Like it's not scary. And Robert Pattinson refused to do the accent to the director in like pre-production, because he didn't want to like. I don't know. He just didn't want to. You hear this a lot with actors, like with rehearsing. They don't want to do it until it becomes like
wrong.
Not wrong, just like you get bored with it. I think a lot of these actors, they want to kind of to be like fresh in their mind. So like when he showed up on set and did the accent, the director was like, "Holy fuck, this is amazing!" Like it was all kind of like worth the wait. So, I don't know where I was going with this. I apologize.
Where did we start? No, you don't have to apologize.
I don't even know where we started. But no, it was more so. You were saying procrastination. So I find that a lot with artists, though. I find that a lot with like, because I don't want to speak for you, but like my mind is never at ease ever. Like with just like life and even art stuff in general. Like if I'm writing, if I have a story in my mind that I can't get rid of, like I'm constantly thinking about throughout the day, like, and it does affect other things, And then, I don't know how many times I've been like, I've set myself for dates to write, and I'm like, I haven't even started writing, And I'm like,
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and I've like, fuck, I was supposed to write tonight at 8:00, and I just ended up rewatching New Girl. Like, what the fuck, So it's kind of like, but then it's like, I'm like sitting on the couch, like maybe on a Saturday, like, oh, my wife's out doing her thing. Let me. It hits you.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like I like the notes section in my phone is like insane because it only comes to me like in bursts when I like don't plan it. And this is what my sister, who is not on as much of the artistic spectrum, like she's like, you need to set time for yourself and schedule to like write. You're gonna spend time on Tuesday at 3 p.m. writing for an hour. And I'm like, Julie, I don't work
not
like that.
that way,
Like
yeah.
scheduling this for me, like hurt my brain. Like we did it a month in advance, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel that day.
We really didn't. Yeah, we really actually didn't do it. We did it like a few weeks ago, and I told you like, yeah, we're gonna do it in May, and then this night opened up, and you were like, yeah, I get, and like there was like I was like, yeah, if she can't do it, then it's like I get it, but I now I understand like if
You know,
you
it
just
gives
don't
me
know what you're doing that
anxiety.
day, but I kind of wish I was like that. I kind of wish
You
I
wish
was
you had anxiety for
no,
planning
not
things.
anxiety. I didn't hear what you said. What I was saying was I wish it's not even anxiety. It just seems like you are going with the flow. I'm not that. I am not. The look in your face, you're like,
I'm stressed.
you're like, it is not that. But like now we're here recording, and yeah, I get what you're saying. Like planning ahead stresses you out, and there's a lot of people who are just whatever. Like kind of like there's two different types of people, you and me, honestly. Like because I like to plan stuff out, but the older I get, I'm like. I don't give a fuck when we go to dinner. Like we'll just go when we go. Like I'm kind of degressing and so to speak, but I'm happy I am because I was very much like when I was younger, my mom would tell me if I had a basketball game at 7, I was ready to fucking leave at 5. Like that's not healthy.
No.
Like that's not healthy. And like and I love your sister, but when it comes to writing, you can't like I'll go to before the pandemic, I would go to coffee shops in Maplewood, bring a notepad or bring my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like writing, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't, then I'm just there to get a fucking cup of coffee, you know? And I need to get out of the house to write. Now
agree.
it's tough to do though.
And I've tried to do that like in the past when I was like driving has like always been a really good like way for me to get my brain going. And it would just be like a day, like a Tuesday, and I'm not doing anything else. I'm like, you know what? Let's get in the car and just drive somewhere. I don't know, get lost in Union County or wherever, where I haven't been in Union County. Just get lost to just try and get my brain juices flowing, or going and try like these people who can just like go to a Starbucks with their laptop. They're so good for them, and they just sit down. They figure out the Wi-Fi, and they're so studious.
Figure out the Wi-Fi, which is really not hard. It's Starbucks free. That's funny as hell.
I'm just saying these people have their shit together in my eyes.
I think figuring out the Wi-Fi is definitely. I know people who can figure out the Wi-Fi, but they do not have their shit together. But no, I get what you're saying. I'm joking around. I get what you're saying.
And they just sit there and they're like, I'm like, wow, they must really be getting stuff done, and they probably aren't.
Yeah, but it's also the whole like Seinfeld thing where George is like, if you look busy or you look aggravated, you look busy, and I look at people, I'm like, they're faking it. They're not that busy.
Yeah.
But when I'm writing, if I'm writing, I wrote a comedy that I'm trying to film this year about a guy trying to get his hoodie back from his ex-girlfriend. And when I was writing that, I was just laughing the entire time because it's like, I'm not tooting my horn. It's just such a ridiculous concept,
No, I think it's
so when you're writing, I'm very much in my own world. So like when I go to a coffee shop, I have to bring music. Like if I don't have my headphones, I'm not writing.
Interesting.
Because I need music. I need music to write. There's been times where I have gone to write and I'm like, fuck, I don't have my headphones. Well, maybe I'll just write about all the characters I see coming into this place.
I have several questions.
Okay.
Do you want to finish that thought?
No, I'm just saying. I was just saying, like, I'll start the people coming in, they're interacting, how they are. I'll just kind of write character traits and then just kind of like, fuck it, I'll just go on Facebook, I guess. Like, because I don't have my headphones. Like, I know it's weird.
No, it's not weird. This is one of my questions. What do you listen to? Does it have to be like instrumental music?
No. I actually don't. I know a lot of people listen to instrumental. They listen to like a lot of soundtracks of movies. I listen to like my Spotify playlist I've put together, or I'll listen to a song over and over and over, or a few songs that like kind of put me in the mood. But I do not listen to instrumentals because I don't know. I might sound like an asshole for saying this. Like instrumentals, like just listening to them don't really move me. When I hear an instrumental in a movie, like a soundtrack to a movie, a score, that's the proper term. Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at me not knowing shit. The music that plays in the background. She's like, yeah, film guy, isn't it? Score. Like, but no, there's more like that will move me more if I'm seeing an image or an emotion with that. But just listening to the Dark Knight soundtrack or anything from like Christopher Nolan, like his soundtrack and his score. Not a lot. I listen to a lot of Led Zeppelin.
The reason I asked is because I would think, for me, I think that like if I were listening to songs that I like and like sing along to on a regular basis, I think that the lyrics would distract me. That's why I was asking.
It's interesting. Yeah, if I listen to songs that I do listen to all the time, like there's this one song that I've been obsessed with lately, and it's like the perfect driving song. But if I listen to it while I'm writing, it's just it's weird. It's like when I'm writing, like the music is not there. There's some times where if I'm writing and I'm home alone, or my wife's not in the living room in the other room, I'll take the headphones out and I'm just writing, and it's just kind of like noise there to kind of like focus me in.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to do somehow I need to do a job of not going, because sometimes I do need the internet, obviously, when I'm writing for like certain vocabulary, maybe certain things I want. If there's a joke I want to make sure the joke is like, if I'm making a joke about like a pop culture event, like make sure it's accurate.
Right.
But then I fact checking. Exactly. There we go again.
Exactly.
I'm giving you the roundabout bullshit definition, but yes, it's fact checking. But then I can't gravitate towards like Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
I have to try really hard to do that. And I actually, believe it or not, I know I post a lot on social media, but I do loathe it. I think it is detrimental to one of our topics that we're gonna eventually get to within this episode. But yeah, I just, what's your writing process? That I know you said you've been writing a TV or teleplay for TV show or series of that for over 6 years. What's kind of like your writing process? And like you said, you're the type of person that can't sit down and write. So it's taking you a long time to write it. That's not a bad thing. It's just inspiration hits you when it hits you. You can't schedule out inspiration,
Yeah.
So what's your writing process?
Well, that you kind of said it like it hits me when it hits me, and then I'll have like bursts of being like, oh, like I'll write little points because you know what? I'm up late all the time. I have some wine, and I'm like, this is, oh my God, I just thought of something that like I need to include. So I'll make a little note in my phone.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the basis of the point that I have to make and include. And then like some days I'll just be like, okay, let me just like hash that out and like write. This is another thing I was going to ask you. Like, do you write dialogue and like, what do you call it? Like
an outline?
Yeah.
So yeah, like writing, I just write whatever's in my head. If it's funny, it's going to be more so I'm going to write dialogue for it. But if it's a more dramatic piece, I'm writing like the tone or the scene, or like, the things I watch really, really influence me. Like I'm very influenced by the things I watch. And like, there was a short film I made in 2019 where I was like, this is very much like I'm doing, like, it's based off these few shows I really enjoy, and a few of my buddies watch it. They're like, oh yeah, I could see that,
Like, yeah.
So what do you do? Do you just write line of dialogue? Do you write scenarios?
No, I can't write dialogue. I've tried. That's what part of that class at NYU was. It was like trying to write a screenplay, so it was like almost all dialogue, and that's not basically my thing. My show that I'm trying to write is very like sci-fi.
Okay.
So my problem is that I try to write outlines and hash the story out. I'm almost kind of writing it as a book first because
cool.
I can't get it out any other way.
Yeah. I mean, you could always write it as a book, and how many adaptations are there?
Right.
Screenplays,
But 6 years it's taken because I do not know how to finish it. And I think a lot of, like in movies are like, I can't finish. What's the ending going to be?
Well, no, but what is, I mentioned it earlier, Place Beyond the Pines. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen the first 10 minutes.
Okay. It's a long movie, but that took that writer-director like 10 years to make.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that like, what current shows are you like watching right now?
Me?
Or movies? Yeah.
Oh, this is one of my favorite things to talk about.
Okay, yeah. What do you?
I watch everything.
Do you? Okay, cool. Yeah. No, that's good. Do you watch Atlanta?
I started Atlanta, but I haven't finished it.
You need to, because that's definitely weird and it's really interesting. So, what are some of your favorite shows that you're watching now? And what are some shows and movies from the past that inspire you or that give you that like joy to be like, I can do this?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with what I'm not currently watching and things that I've watched in recent years that I'm like obsessed with. I was starting with The OA. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't.
It's
Is
on
that
Netflix.
On Netflix? Okay.
It's like an unbelievably weird sci-fi show.
Is that where the parents go missing?
No, it's where this girl is missing for years, and when she comes back, she was blind, and then she goes missing for a couple years. When she comes back, she's not blind anymore. She was abducted by a guy. I can't give away too much.
No, don't. Yeah,
but it's like way better than like it excites
The
me.
OA. It sounds
The OA.
sort of like Manifest.
I tried watching Manifest.
Yeah.
It ended up boring me.
Yeah, I mean, my wife watched it all, and then it got canceled from NBC, and now like Netflix is picking it. So like she's kind of like in limbo waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of stuff is always interests me. Like sci-fi is so tough for me to write, not tough for me to watch. I love sci-fi, but writing sci-fi, I've tried dabbling in a few like I guess you would call it sci-fi-esque stories. You know, but yeah, so what else are you like, what else
Another
are you
one of my
with?
tops, and this is comedy writing wise and on the I guess sci-fi Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh my fucking god.
One of the best. I like the writing of that show. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
The kids, Skylar Gisondo, he's the best character in the show.
I love them all. No,
yeah, they're
the
all
dad
great.
is the best.
Timothy Olyphant. I love him from Justified.
I love him.
I just love how he's always stoned and like just fuck. Like, what are we doing? Like the concept is ridiculous. Like your wife turns into a zombie, so now you have to kill people in order to feed her, so she doesn't go on a fucking rampage. Oh yeah,
he takes care of
their casting is phenomenal. Yeah,
their chemistry.
Yeah, their chemistry. Yeah, is
my
great.
God,
is great.
Yes.
And I'm so mad it got canceled. I'm really hoping
on
someone
a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm really hoping.
God.
Well, you know, where you live in a generation now where someone else is going to pick it up. Or it's going to get revived in 10 years, hopefully.
It better.
That's a great one. That is a great one. Do you watch Ted Lasso?
No, I just got Apple. I'm not an Apple person.
Yeah.
So I had to pirate my sister's Apple. And I'm very against Apple things because
including the fruit.
Yeah, I don't even like apples.
Like, you know what? Actually, I never thought about that.
Pretentious.
I never thought they're all red and fucking taste good. And
the green ones are better. But anyway, no, I don't know if you guys know this, but like up until like a week ago, you couldn't even access Apple TV Plus if you didn't have an Apple TV, which is
I didn't know
gatekeeping.
Yeah, I didn't know
don't
that
like
at all.
Okay, I've been trying to watch Dickinson for the past.
Man,
whatever.
What's her name?
Haley Steinfeld. Oh, do you love?
Oh, yeah.
I love Timothy Oliphant, and I had that reaction when
Emily. Haley Steinfeld is. Yeah, no, she's great, and like I think I remember seeing her in True Grit. She was young. I was like, who is this actress? Like going toe to toe with Jeff Bridges. Then I saw Hawkeye on Disney Plus. She was great in it. Like, I think she can kind of do. Like. Not anything. Well, she can sing. I've seen her in the Pitch Perfect movies. Like, I've only seen her in comedies. I've only seen her be like that. Oops, sorry, like that goofy girl. I'm assuming I haven't seen Dickinson, but I'm assuming it's a little more serious, right?
It's actually not.
Okay,
I mean, she's like, she plays it serious, but it is like it's like a comedic. Modern take, and it's funny.
Isn't she like with a girl in that show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
so
yeah.
It's very modern.
It's about how Emily Dickinson was gay as fuck, and we love it.
That's it.
We are here for it.
Definitely going to trigger the boomers.
But
no,
well, they need to get it together. They open your eyes.
Yeah, really. That's never going to happen. But no, there's just so much good TV out there. Do you watch Ozark?
No, I hated Ozark.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay,
I tried to watch it. I thought it was boring.
So, excuse me. What are some older TV shows you like grew up on watching, like with your parents or your sister?
Charmed.
Okay. That's a good one.
And like my adolescent years of good TV. You mean?
I mean, just like what? So, like I said, and I don't want to sound like weird. Like Julie always talked about how just like you guys had a really good relationship. I could see from like social media, you're just like very charismatic, funny. Like, where do you think you got that from? Like, I feel like, and it might sound stupid because I don't like having my whole identity as a TV show per se, but like, I feel like I got like the influences of pop culture have like
Yes.
people always joke around that like I'm a mixture of Ross and Chandler because Friends is like one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
So I guess that's what I'm asking is like, is there any show that you were like, didn't define your character, but it defined your sense of humor. It defined how you look at life, and you didn't take it to like you are still Jen, but like what is there any show when you were a kid that was like, man, like this is why I have a twisted fucking sense of humor, or is it because of your family, your friends? You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, I love this question because it wasn't TV for me though. It was like basically I think when I was younger.
It doesn't have to be TV. Is it Friends? Is it just is it just like the group that people you hang out with? Like, what was it?
Well, when I was younger, and I think for most people, they don't know who they are and they're trying to figure it out and they latch on to characters and they're like, oh, I want to be more like that. Or I admire that person. I have a crush on that person. Like however they are on screen, like that's who I want to come off as. So 2 people off the top of my head who I really like wanted to be when I was younger, Winona Ryder.
I can see that.
Shannon Sossaman from 40 Days and 40 Nights. And
what's the one with James Van Der Beek? Jessica
the
Biel.
Rules of Attraction.
Yes.
So
okay.
all of this like edgy, like short hair. I'm the
90s,
cool girl. Like
Winona Ryder and
Heathers is one of my favorite movies of all time. So like, and she was just always like, just like dark and like broody but funny and smart and like.
I love her in Edward Scissorhands. Like she's so adorable.
Iconic.
Yeah,
she's just.
Underrated.
Queen.
She's underrated.
She is underrated. She got a bad rap for a long time.
Yeah.
So
and then
what?
She did. Yeah. So what if she stole some fucking makeup? Was it makeup?
I don't know what it was. Right. I think it was like underwear or something. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling it right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That's not something going into my Google search. But she kind of you could say she revived her career with Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. Of course, which is as the mother. Which makes me feel old, but because I've only seen her as like in Mr. Deeds and Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, and lest we forget Girl Interrupted. I mean,
oh my God,
iconic.
That's such a That's
Both
one of those movies that there's just because there's so much out there now that are just is filling our TVs and filling our brains. Is that like you forget about like some of the really good shit? Like whether anyone, I'm just using it as an example because you brought up the movie, whether anyone likes Angelina Jolie or not. That movie is a staple as to why she is why she is so good at what she does. Because she was almost goddamn unrecognizable.
Yeah, like the people who don't understand like how great Angelina is. That and the movie Gia. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Gia. Unbelievable. It was an HBO like made for TV movie. She plays Gia Karanji, who was a model, I believe in the 80s, who ended up having a really bad heroin addiction, and Angelina is incredible in it. It's really, really good movie.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So what is your ultimate goal? Like what do you want to do right now? Like, like you said, you changed jobs, you went to school. So what are you looking for? I don't want to sound. I feel like I'm going to sound like a fucking parent, but like, what are you looking for out of life in the entertainment world? Like, do you want to make your own content? Do you want to be casted and stuff? Do you want to just write and this and like collaborate? Like, what is about the film world? Let's say, what's drawing you the most to it? Like, what do you want to do?
Well, yeah, it is hard.
Such a broad ass question.
It's hard to answer because I honestly that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I've been trying to figure out. I don't know where I'm gonna fit in. I'm just trying. Like right now, I'm trying to create with my friend and my co-host of my YouTube channel with him. Like I'm just trying to create as much as I can, just to like put myself in the mentality of making things.
Yes.
And I want, when you asked people on Facebook to be on this podcast, I was like, I want to connect with you. My sister put us in touch with each other so that we could connect because who the hell knows what we'll collab on maybe in the future. And like, I didn't want to squander the opportunity to like talk with you.
Yeah, I mean, my hope out of this whole podcast is the people I don't necessarily really know is to form that working relationship, which hopefully turns into friendship, which hopefully turns into, if someone needs an actress or someone who is just starting out an actress, and because when you start out, like I still don't get paid for any acting roles. I get paid for other things. If I make videos for people, like freelancing, but acting right now I haven't really gotten paid. But I love acting so fucking much that I don't really care about it, and maybe it's because I'm secure with my 9-to-5 job, and if I was freelancing and like it was like a dog eat dog and I needed to make money, then I probably would be like, I'm not taking every role, but I really enjoy acting. So I mean, advice I can give to anyone is just kind of keep going out there and doing shit, and you're gonna be like, I like doing that. I fucking hated that, and I'm never doing that again. And it's you're gonna work with some people that you are very unprofessional, that are not good at what they're doing, and you can kind of tell, because if you're gonna start doing things yourself, you're gonna be like, that's not how I would do it. Like, what the fuck, So, like you said, Julie put us in touch, but so you're trying to figure it out now. But is acting I don't know. I see you more as an actor writer, and maybe if you want to direct, definitely. But I could see you more as a writer actor. And I'm not never trying to box anyone in.
No, I think the dream for me would be to Lena Dunham it and write it, direct it, star in it. Yeah. That would be for what I'm writing.
Broad City.
Yeah, Broad City. Yeah, Abby and Alana are my idols. They're literally great. Went to UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, in their footsteps, because that is a career. This is what I'm saying. I don't think I can act because I don't know how to not be myself. You watch I know I mentioned Euphoria and that guy Fezco. Yes,
that's him. That's not an act. That's not a character.
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob. That's right. Jason Mewes. Well, I've met Jason Mewes. That's fucking him. That is him. So you can definitely make a career on you being you if you're not like anybody else, and you don't really fucking seem like you're anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm being serious. No, I feel and I'm not trying to talk down on me, but it's I don't know how many times I get, oh yeah, you're 6'1", you're Italian, you're a big dude. We're gonna put you in a mafia movie.
What?
There's been times over the winter of 2021, I was in a feature-length film as a mobster, but the story, I'm not going to speak on it, was nothing like a fucking mobster movie I've ever seen. It had to deal with cross-dressing, and I wasn't the cross-dresser. The main character was, and I'm not trying to spoil too much, but that was something I've never seen. One of my favorite shows, and I only recently watched it 7, 8 years ago, was Sopranos, because it was about a captain in the mob going to therapy.
I never watched Sopranos. So
that's fine. Yeah, people from Jersey either love it, which may, or have never watched it. It's a serious tone, but there's some funny fucking lines in it, and it just goes to show you old school Italian, the mentality of old I don't know if the mentality, because you're 100% Italian or no?
Well, I'm Italian on both sides. Not,
okay. Yeah. So I'm sure. I don't know. We don't have to get into all the weeds of it, but I don't know how your grandparents are. Some of my grandparents were very much just the shit they said. It was that can't fly anymore. Right. And it really kind of it touches on a lot of interesting stuff in the series. It really does. In this, not to spoil it. Hopefully, you watch it, and by the time, if you watch it, you forget about it. But in the sixth season, there's one of the guys in the crew who's gay. Mm. And that's the majority of the storyline. And it's just kind of how Tony Soprano's character kind of navigates with everyone wants him dead. Oh, God. And Tony's it's a fucking person. He has a family. That's just, to me, it's very interesting. I'm not saying it's ahead of its time, because a lot of things now touch on it it's a part of everyday life, which it is. But yeah, for the Sopranos and the mob, it's really not like that. So that's why I gravitate towards more stories that are stereotypical. So to go back, if you were to do something that's interesting and unique to you, and you're your own character,
yeah,
I mean, it does work. So if you may not be able to play a quote unquote character, but if you
Right.
if you write crazy shit, like outlandish shit, if you act in it, if you're kind
Yeah,
of
like if
saying
I'm
stuff,
writing it for myself, I think I could do, which is like why I'm trying to make this channel with my friend, because I can make content that I've learned in later years, I never knew this about myself, that I'm very controlling. And I didn't know that. And I think it's because I want everything to be the way that I see it in my brain. And like I like with this YouTube channel I'm making, it's like we're filming it, but I'm mostly editing it. He'll be like, "Oh, let me like I'll edit this part," and I'm like, like he does well, but I'm like,
yeah,
I want it this way. Like it's like my brain is
that's
crazy.
I'm going to tell you, and I'm speaking from experience. That's either going to you're either going to skyrocket from it, or it's going to be very, very
It's
tough.
gonna drag me down.
No, I wouldn't say drag you down. I don't think I've been dragged down, but I've lost a lot of collaborations because ego got in the way, and
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
it
trying
just
to avoid that.
but
Definitely.
you're aware of that, which is smart, because I
Yeah.
wasn't. I
Mm.
wasn't aware that, like, why the fuck did it really need to be my way for this certain
Right.
thing?
When they have a great
When
creative perspective as well.
when they're trying, or you know, I'm very much. I know I should be the bigger man, bigger person. I'm never in this situation. I'm petty.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's terrible. You can laugh at me.
Not good. Sorry. I just
Did you just say what the fuck or no?
Did I?
No, I don't know what you said. It was just funny. It was funny that you said
I don't
that.
know what I said. I think I blacked out.
But I don't know if you're. I don't know. I blacked out. Well, I'm gonna find out when I edit this.
Yeah, please let
But
me
no.
know.
But
No,
yeah.
my initial response to things is usually to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, I don't
Sometimes it
give a shit.
offends people.
No, it doesn't offend me at all. I can laugh at it now because it's like, what in that situation I think we made a really good project, but just like we could have made so much more,
Right.
and just ego got in the way. So it's good that you're aware that, like, you're working with your partner on the
and
on
it's
this
his
YouTube channel.
show too.
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
I can't like
And it's
like I
tough.
said, like he does things very well as well. It's just that I have such a pigeonholed way of thinking about how I want it to come out but we've gotten better. It's hard in any work environment. Like I had this struggle when I was working in hair salons. It was like it's hard to say things to other people. I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like
Why? Because you think they're going to be offended?
Yeah, and
Or
like I
it's
don't
like
want to hurt
you're-
people's feelings, and but then like my sister again, who keeps coming up, was like, Ralph, my co-host, she's like, he's your business partner, like talk to him and tell him like what you're thinking, and then
Yeah.
and then we do talk, and then we collaborate, and we both compromise.
So you guys
and
are
it's
really
great.
good friends, right? You
Yeah,
and
we've been
Ralph?
friends for a while.
This is the first time you guys have ever worked on something together, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of learning. It's the big learning curve of how do you guys work well together,
And it's also the first time I've actually, I want to say, like fully like created something and like published, quote unquote, and like put it out in such a specific way. Like
Yeah.
I put out like TikToks, but like that's just me, and that's just me like messing around. This is like I've spent hours working on
Investing
this, like
in it, not
I
knowing where it's
care
going to
so
go.
much,
Yeah, not knowing
like-
where it's going to go, not knowing who's going to like it, and that that's it's scary.
It
It's,
is. It
it's
was
very
scary the
scary.
first time.
It is. It's not like I go through that feeling literally every time I put something out. Every
Yeah.
time it I'm going to be putting out a short film I did in October. Hopefully I'll put it out soon. And it's definitely something I've never done before character wise, and I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's a drama. It's like an intense, I think it was pretty intense because I felt the intensity while acting in it. And some of my friends have been like, who aren't in film, they're like, "Oh man, I just see you as you, the goofy guy
Right.
who's always laughing, who's doing this, who's doing that." Like they can't ever see me as anything else. And there was a film I did a few years ago like that where they were still like, "Yeah, I just saw Chris. I didn't see anything else."
Right.
And it's kind of like, man, I
That's-
don't want to just be Chris. I want to captivate my friends and the people I know. I want to captivate them to think like, that's not Chris, that's someone else,
Yeah, that reminds me of two things. One being, I kind of want my art to be seen by people who don't know me. Like a lot of the time, like I I tried to do stand-up a few years ago.
I've done that too.
Yeah, and I didn't want anybody I knew to be there because because you know me. You know me too well. And I don't want you to be like, I don't know, have this like preconception of like who I am. Like if I could do it in front of strangers like way better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I was gonna say, about like you being like nervous about putting stuff out. It's very vulnerable for us to be doing these things, and it's scary, and it's like the reason why I feel like I've wasted a lot of my life not pursuing art. I never did theater in high school, and like I regret it to this day. Like it's very
you
upsetting.
And I are
to
very
me.
very similar. Right, I'm being serious. I played basketball all through high school. I loved it. I was good at it, but my best friend, who's now kind of like, not saying he doesn't know what he wants to do in life, but he's a good writer and he hasn't really tapped into it. He was in theory. He's like, dude, come on, man. Like, we need people who are fucking funny. I was like, I'm not funny. Like, you think I'm funny. But the general masses don't find me funny. Like, I tried stand-up, too. I tried it twice.
I tried it twice, too.
I bombed both times.
Really?
I was drunk the second time because I'm not going to do it. Like, I did it sober the first time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And I didn't know anyone there. And I did it in Florida in a comedy club that had no one under 50. Making stupid jokes. I was on there for 4 minutes and it felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
And I bombed twice and I will never do it again.
Oh.
Some of my buddies think I should try it. I'm like, no, I'll ghostwrite for you. I'll write some jokes for you, but I'm never getting back on stage ever again.
Really?
No, I couldn't. You couldn't pay me well, maybe $1 million, but
that's how much.
But comedians are getting smacked the fuck
up
nowadays.
$50 to go back. If I
$50,
$50, put me up there, coach.
I have it on me. So, how was your experience doing it twice? And where'd you do them? In Jersey, New York?
Yes, New Jersey.
What am I fucking nuts? I'm not going to New York, dude. I did it
I thought
West Jersey.
I considered. First of all, I'm in East Jersey.
I'm saying you did it, and what you traveled to West Jersey.
Do not talk to me about. I am in East New Jersey.
I know where we're at. I've lived in Essex County pretty much for 5 or 6 years.
Okay, all right. This is how it went. The first time, so I prepared. I wrote down a 5-minute set, like outline points.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would like make like big font for like some things, like
big
to like
font,
punch
really big font.
to like punch that point,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like pause, like very much like structured that way. And I practiced it, and the first time I did it
in front of a mirror. Like
I recorded myself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like on my phone.
You didn't show your mom or family or anything like that?
I don't remember if I did that, but the first time I went to go and do it, it was the Blackthorn in Kenilworth. It's closed now, but it used to have a Thursday night open mic night. And I had been preparing for weeks. And like a lot of my friends were like, we want to come. My boyfriend wanted to come. I said, absolutely not. You cannot. I told my boyfriend, stop laughing.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing how you said it. Winks. But no, I'm not laughing at the fact that you can't, I get that. I get that you don't want anyone to go.
Yeah, I didn't want any of them. And then you know what happened?
They found out where it was. And,
No. I know, like a handful of my friends, I was like, okay, you can come. But then comedy night was like canceled.
Oh no.
But the mic was still there. And I had my friends and the people who worked there were like, just go up and do it anyway.
That's pretty fucking cool though.
Except that it sucked because I was really anticipating a full crowd of people who didn't know me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was only my friends that like.
And were they laughing?
That's I blacked it out.
Okay, all right. Because I'm saying if it was only them and the bartenders and the
yeah. But the second time I actually did really well at
Where?
Crossroads in Garwood. They had a comedy night. It was once a week. And I went and this was like weeks after that other debacle. And my friend, I was drunk. My friend's like, go up there and do the bit. Like you have a 5-minute set, like whatever. Like go up and do it. So I do it. I got big laughs. I did very well. And they were doing it like it was like a contest. But I left before they called who the winner was. So I'll never know if I was the winner or not.
Fuck, that would have killed me. I would have to stay in and if I
no,
lost.
because I was flustered. I was like, I don't want to know. I want, I'm on my way. here I go.
I mean, I don't know. You seem to just do it and be like, all right, it doesn't matter if I win or lost. I did it, which is really, would you do it again?
Yes, but I would have to write new material, and I don't even know
Oh.
what I want to write about right now.
Yes. What's happened in the past 2 years that you could write about?
I like talking about lady things, though.
I mean, yeah.
And I feel like, what do I have? Periods, okay, but like, what do
I hope that wasn't one of the I mean, I don't know. Lady things could be funny.
No,
I feel like, or just like perspective of things. I think would be funny. Like, my wife and I are expecting a baby girl in July.
You are?
Yes.
Oh
we have
my! Is she going to be a Leo?
July 9th.
That's
Cancer.
Cancer, still great.
I know a lot of cancers in my life. Very emotional, but I'm a Scorpio, so am I. Anywho, I made a joke to my wife. I was like, like when you tell people you're pregnant, like they're kind of celebrating that you guys like fucked.
Uh-huh.
And I said that, and I was like, and some people who are like parents who are very prude are like, this is a beautiful thing. I was like, but is it because like how she was conceived was we were drunk after a Friday night, and we banged, and it didn't probably didn't last that long. And I just said that to my wife, and she's like, that's like you need to do that for a bit. I'm like, I'm never going to do stand up, but I will give someone that much because it's observational. It's like Seinfeld-ish or just how any other comedian. I know comedians there's different types of comedians. Mainly, some of them are very observational.
I've had something I've been musing about. Oh, also, I would just like to interject that to clarify. I don't think that there's anything wrong with period jokes. I wasn't trying to shit on people. No.
I don't think I didn't come off that way. I think you were saying like, oh, what do I have to talk about, like women stuff? But I think as a man, I just like hearing. I like hearing perspective from like.
Yeah,
a woman without it being preachy, and I'm sure women like a perspective of men where a man's not mansplaining shit to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be funny if you were to talk about that stuff.
And I do. And
because
I love
so many people are so like, I don't want to. From a guy's perspective, if a bunch of guys are single and they go on blind dates, oh, this girl was talking about this, and this. It's like, you got to be this was my fucking mantra before I met my wife and as I was dating around. You got to be yourself. You have to be yourself from like the get-go.
I agree.
Not like fucking like crazy or weird or anything, but like for me, like yourself. I love talking shit. I love joking. If I showed up to a date, I was like, "Hi, so what do you like doing?"
Like,
and then she's gonna be like, and then like the second date, or if we end up drinking and you got to be yourself. You really do have to be yourself. So
yeah,
I think it's more so like. To relate that to now, like if women do stand up or like their shows, like Broad City, that was them. Like that was unapologetically perfect. Them.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like the third or fourth episode of the first season was her pegging her fucking boyfriend.
Yeah. Don't forget about pussy weed.
Yeah. That too. Yeah.
No, it's great. And that is like, that's like, I'm like what you're saying is like, I'm normally very unfiltered. I don't care. Like, I love to talk about stuff like that. And as long as I would have to just sit down and make a set that's actually funny, that makes sense. And yeah, the whole thing about like men necessarily like, not that I give a shit if men want to listen to my comedy because of this. You've had everything. Like, yes. Shut up. But like, men who don't want to hear about periods, but like want to have sex with women, like, no. That's part of like everything. Our bodies. Like you don't get to just pick and choose when you're, it's just like grow up.
My wife apologizes to me for certain things, and I tell her don't. Like I'm talking about, and I'm not trying to like air out her dirty laundry. Just certain like, oh, do you not want me to talk about my period and this? I was like, I don't. I know you get it,
right?
Like I'm. If my mom or sister are talking about it, that I may not want to hear, but I'm not ever going to be like, shut the fuck up about it. But like, if my
fragile male brain can't listen to blood.
Well, really, shit. But I can watch fucking Rambo.
Exactly.
But yeah, if she's like, do you not want me to talk about it? I was like, I don't. Like, you're kind of forgetting. Like, my parents split at a very young age. I was with my mom and sister for a long time. Like I'm very heavily influenced by women. And my mom is the oldest of 5. 4 of them are women.
Nice.
my grandmother, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm not, things like that don't make me feel awkward or weird, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and they
but it's
shouldn't.
so funny. Like, you can have like a, you know, what was it? I forgot what it was. It was a skit I saw where, shit, I'm just going to say College Humor, where like they wrote a skit like as if like two guys were talking about having sex, but it was just then the two actresses were women. And it was just kind of like, at first when I watched it, I was like, this is weird. I never hear women openly talk about like having sex.
Interesting.
I don't, you know, but my wife tells me like, yeah, no, when I'm with my girls, like we're always talking about stuff.
The things
I'm like, wait, you're talking about like
we talk
stuff?
about
And she's like,
everything.
I was like, wait, so like they know like, and she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah. I was like, mother of fucking God, how do I look at that? Because believe it or not, my best friends, we don't talk about, yeah, man, I had sex with my wife the other night. Like, we don't really talk about that shit. We might be like, oh my God, like Lily James, Hillary Duff, like my crush, like I love her.
Hillary Duff.
Yes, like, I'm.
Oh no,
My
I
wife
have saved
knows.
pictures of Hillary Duff.
My wife knows. The only woman I would leave her for is Hillary Duff.
Wow.
If Hillary Duff ever even knew I existed.
Hillary, we both want you.
Yes.
Please
yes,
come over.
Yeah.
We just you know,
and you know
just
what?
for a
Listen,
beer.
Yeah, just for a beer. We have
just
Corona
wanna
Light.
look
It's
at
really
you.
good for, yeah. You don't have to say much. Can we just stare at you? And if you want to chime in here and there. But no, I guess it's just me just being in my own little bubble and thinking like, guys only do that. Guys only, you know.
What I was gonna say is another thing, just on the same level, that like kind of pisses me off, and like, but people do it to be polite. Is when a person curses in front of a woman and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse my language," and I'm like, Have you ever? They do that. They do it in movies. Like if a man curses and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I shouldn't curse in front of ladies," it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, where are we? What year is it? Like, I
Yeah.
curse constantly, and like it's kind of, I know it's meant to be respectful, but it kind of feels like so backwards that
That's
you think
interesting.
that like I'm like, I don't know,
Because I
more
think
precious than you are.
Gotcha. I do it as if in front of anyone, as if like I think for me it's a more thing like I don't, by me cursing it's gonna show you who I really am, and I think, like I said, I know of you. This is the first time we're meeting. So if I were to come over and be like, yeah, well, fucking hell, this fucking like, I think that would be more like, you could be like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make a good impression, like, with anyone. I would like to talk more about imposter syndrome than we can talk about the effects of 9 to 5 on a creative person a little bit, but I would love to hear your stance on imposter syndrome, because you are starting this new journey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have imposter syndrome? Do you feel like you don't belong? Or are you just like, is that not even coming across your mind right now? Or have you ever felt like that in other careers, as a girlfriend, like, you never feel like, oh man, like, because I think imposter syndrome can go to a lot of different avenues in life. I do think artists kind of feel it, but like, there's times where I'm like, I don't, like before I was getting married, I don't think, how do I know if I'm going to be a good husband? My parents split. How do I know it's going to be successful now? Like, how am I going to be a good dad? Like, so I think there's a form of that, but like when it comes to the arts, it's like, I'm at this film festival right now with a bunch of filmmakers and I don't feel like I belong.
Well, let me put it into a very easy perspective for you. First, when you posted if anybody wants to be on this podcast, and I said, yeah, I would love to be on it. And then you sent me the criteria, and I was like, am I even qualified to be on this? Because I'm not an actress, or I don't have any like solid artist credentials.
Mm-hmm. But
like,
then you came back with your own topics. And
well,
we've
yeah,
spent
and
an
then
hour.
I'm
just
like,
saying, we spent an hour and a half talking about that.
No, I know. Oh, you're validating.
No. Yeah. No. I'm telling you, like, I know, because you don't feel like you. I'm asking you for a reason, and I wanted some not strangers. I wanted people, other artists I don't know, to interview, because I want to meet people, and I want a broader spectrum. Like, this is an episode that not a lot of people are going to, or this topic that you chose, a lot of people are not going to be able to sort of speak on it. You know, you're saying that you don't even feel like qualified for it, but you have this sense of like this air about you that like you kind of already feel like, talking to you feel like a filmmaker or an artist. That's how that from talking to you, because you're like, you kind of know where you want to go, but you're starting out. Like, everyone's got to start out. So,
And I think that a lot of it also comes from like, I am starting out, I'm working, I'm in school. Like, maybe I would feel, I think maybe, I think in the arts is, I think people in the arts a lot of times don't have like a set trajectory. Like, we kind of like float around and like figure it out.
yeah.
And there's no like linear pathway. And even if, like, say I went after this associates, I went and pursued a bachelor in film, which I still, I don't know if I even want to do. And you brought this up earlier and you were saying you regretted doing that, or you just like didn't really think it was what you needed to do.
Yeah, I've seen so many people just like work their way up from set, but I don't know, like, if I were to do that, would I be more so like crew members now? Would I be working in the gaffing department, or
Right.
like would I be working in the camera department rather than the writing, acting,
And doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's very, it's a double-edged sword, where I do think like sometimes it's, sometimes I feel like I should have not spent all that money and just stayed in New York and New Jersey and built connections here.
Mhm.
But going to school made me who I was. So that's something you got to figure out on your, that's something that you, on your own, you're gonna figure out after, you seem like you're taking it step by step, which is smart.
And I
which
don't
all of
really
us
I don't personally want to continue and go and get a bachelor, because honestly, if like, I don't want to spend money on school and be in debt. I'm currently back at a county college in New Jersey where I don't know what law was passed or whatever, what bill, but if you make under a certain amount of money and you go to county college, it's like free.
Yeah.
So I am very much enjoying
Yeah.
this. And like, honestly, I would keep going and just learning as much as I can there. Like, do I really want to go and spend hundreds of $1,000s on a film school? Like, do I need to do that? Yeah, no. And on top of that, another thing that happened to me, which is validating. I don't know if we want to go into whatever. After my film class or my editing class, I have an uncle who was a film editor for 2020. He has an Emmy for being a film editor for the show 2020. I actually interviewed him for a documentary for my class too.
Nice.
I showed him all the stuff that I made for that class, and he was like, his wife was like, "Oh, so you're going to go to film school?" And he was like, "Fuck school, go get a job. Like, show this to people." So that was very validating for me.
No, that's you need that. And it can kind of tie into imposter syndrome, but continue. I don't want to keep interrupting.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, because that was like off topic anyway.
No, but it's a good validating. Like, when that probably makes you feel like, okay, like I'm on the right path. Like, you everything you've told me, like you've done stand up twice. The first time you fucking like the second time, I mean, you killed it. Like I wouldn't say all that. But you said you got a lot of laughs. Well. You said you did really well. Then this class you're doing, everything you've edited together. Your uncle, who's been in the industry for years, is telling you, fuck that. You have enough good work right off the bat, which not a lot of people do, to go find a job. Like, that's some. I don't have any of my early work on online or even on a hard drive of mine. But I would dread watching it. I do have my first short film I ever made, and it's god awful. And then the last short film I've done, it's like night and day, So you're only going to get better at what, you're only going to get better from here, which it should give you kind of like, it should give you hope that someone that yeah, he's a family member, but you can't, some family members know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
So yeah.
even with when I was doing hair and I had 10 years experience, I was making good money. I had clients who loved me, were back with me every week. I still was like imposter syndrome in that field. Like I mean, I think most people would be like, you're a professional, you're an expert. When people call me a professional, I like giggle and like shy away from it, which is stupid because I had a license, I had schooling, and I had 10 years experience. And I still was like, professional? No, not me. Like, that's insane.
Where it comes from, I don't know, because I feel the same way. Like every film I've done since moving up here, I've won some sort of award
Really?
in a New Jersey festival.
Hell yeah.
And everyone's like, well, why are you discrediting like it's just a New Jersey festival? Like I've gone out to San Francisco and won like at a Comic-Con for my superhero film. I've won awards, you know, and that still isn't like, it still hasn't validated anything in me, which
it's
is
never enough.
but that's kind of crazy. That's a crazy way of thinking it, because you can kind of get like wrapped up in like being super, like, I don't know. I think I just take myself a little too seriously, because it's like, man, like I've done different genres. I've done drama, I've done comedy, I've done this, and I've been nominated on all of them. Like, so why am I telling myself that I'm not shit?
I don't think you take yourself too seriously. I think you don't take time enough to appreciate and respect yourself for the accomplishments that you have done. And it's hard for some reason. People can't just like pat themselves on the back and be like, no, I am doing well. I'm doing enough. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep creating, but like sometimes I think you just, and I don't know because I have nowhere near any decorations the way that you do. So you should be very proud.
Yeah.
And you should just like, if you can set one day, just if you're thinking too much about things, just like take a deep breath and be like, no, I won awards for my creative art. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's 2 awards I leave by my desk when I'm trying to write, and I look at. It's not for show, for anything, because they're in my office and my desk. They're not out and about. They're for me to remember, like, you can do, like, you've gotten to that, you know. But yeah, I just don't want to be at the end of my life, or the end of the rope, and be like, man, like I didn't get to enjoy anything, because I don't think right now I've enjoyed. I think I could honestly say I've enjoyed one, because I went to San Francisco for a Comic-Con. I went out there with being like, I'm just going to go out there, and I've never been to California, and I'm going to go to a Comic-Con, and I was Healing Heroes, where
Was that just now?
superheroes
Like-
go to therapy. It was like 2017. I did go out there recently to visit a friend of mine, but and I ended up winning like Audience Choice Award.
That's crazy.
And I didn't think about that. I was like, Audience Choice, that means everyone who watched my film voted for me.
That it was their favorite
Holy
one.
fuck, you know?
That's
That's the one where I
crazy.
was like, damn, that was awesome. But I need every festival I go to, or every little accomplishment that I do, I need to appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you have, and how do I say it without sounding like a fucking asshole? Like, you're starting out right now. And I think your goal, I don't know what your goals would to be. Like, I think
Me
you're just
neither.
going to be, no, I'm just saying, like, I think, because I didn't know either. My goal making a film wasn't to win an award. Like, I think maybe deep down, but it was just to like get it completed.
Get it out.
Get it out. Get it completed. Get people to
Yeah.
watch it. Get people other than your family to be like, that was great.
Mhm.
You know? So, you know, you're out here saying, I can't speak on this because I don't have any of the accolades, but I mean, like, you have the right mindset to have the accolades. I think people have the right mindset for that, but I think deep down, I'm always going to feel like that kid who just like stepped into art class for the first time and is like,
Right. But I'm just proud of you. Well, I'm in admiration because I'm not a very like nose to the grindstone sort of person. Like I have things that I want to do
Yeah.
and finish and accomplish, and I just never do it because I don't know, I'm lazy, or I'm like, no, like.
But until you find something you're like that, I was like that too. If you love what you do, like, then you can't really. I don't mind. Like, my wife's like, you're gonna run yourself ragged with
Yeah.
this shit. I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done before the baby comes, so I now have the fall and the summer to edit. I am
True.
trying to think ahead, because I don't want to hop on set and be like, yeah, I'll do it. But like, I think, I didn't really know that you and maybe it's just because my mind's everywhere. I didn't know that you really liked writing and you were obsessed with movies. Like you can turn that obsession into like your art. And I know you say you're lazy, you're this, you're that, but like a script's not going to be done in a day. And if it's done in a day, it's not a good script.
Right.
I can write for 10, 12 hours, but I got to go back and revisit it and be like, this is all trash, or butcher it and go back. But like, for you thinking like, oh, this book I'm writing has taken 6 years. What the fuck? You're not, like it, you're going to go at your own pace, and then you're going to end up making the art you want to. And then that's what's going to be good, because it's like no one can replicate what you're doing.
Yes. Well, I feel a lot better about my life after this
Well, I appreciate it. $50 an hour. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, I think I think more artists need to have each other's back. Like everyone's thanking me for doing this, and I'm like, please don't. Like I need this just as much as y'all need this too.
Right.
Like I need to talk about shit. I started this like right after like my stepdad had a massive stroke. I'm like, and I'm not creating anything. I'm like, fuck, man. Like I need to talk about why I'm a crazy ass artist. Like why I feel like why do I have imposter syndrome? Like why am I going bonkers thinking I'm not shit? And then you hear other people feel that way and you're like, what the fuck, So do you have, like, before we wrap up, do you feel like you have imposter syndrome right now in where you're at in the beginning of your career, or are you just trying to focus on like you're going to do you and you can't really focus or think about anyone else right now because you're maybe where people are that are in different levels, and it's every level you're at,
Well, yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm in any specific venue enough to have imposter syndrome in that. I feel just right now that I'm like sort of lost in the sauce, trying to find my way, a little bit like wishing that, like envious of people who have set directions for their lives and careers. Like I'm envious because I don't know how to I'm just like imagining like, those like bouncy ball games where there's like a bunch of balls just like like it's like a video game.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of balls like flying, bonking on the sides.
That's
balls, a lot of balls going on in my brain, ping-ponging. I don't know.
Subliminal.
Like it's just like ping pong, ping pong, pong. I don't know what to do, but like I'm just meandering right now.
But could it be because you started off a career so like, I don't want to say you're doing things backwards. That's not really it at all. I don't think you're doing anything backwards. I think wherever anyone is right now is where they are meant to be.
Yeah.
Like through tragedy, through like not feeling like they're accomplishing enough, but this moment, you hope after today you're going to have a fire under your ass just talking about all of this for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, that's great.
You hope, you just hope that you're going to do that. Or, you posted your video, the response from that is either going to hopefully help and not harm you, because people on the internet are fucking awful. But, you just hope that like, your partner's energy in making these videos is going to inspire you. Like, I don't think you have to necessarily fucking figure everything out right away. And in the grand scheme of things, like, we're all still very, very young.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people change career. You're not changing. It's not like you're changing a career at 60.
No, and I even think like,
and you worked your ass off from 17 to 28, and then by the way, we had a fucking world pandemic. So I think you're able to kind of give yourself a little bit of a break and figure stuff out.
Yeah.
A lot of people quit acting. A lot of actors I know quit acting. A lot of filmmakers I know got 9-to-5s,
right,
got full-time jobs because they were like, it was such a shock. You're like, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to go to do something I love. And you have that validation from people who are there,
Yeah. I'm also bartending too. I am working.
I mean, yeah, but that's,
but
so
like,
you're making a means.
Exactly.
You're making a means
so
you can justify your ends. Like, I don't know if that's the right term.
No, yeah, means
but
to
like
justify.
but you're. It's not like you're sitting here, You know, like you're not sitting here and not doing shit. Like you're still working, you're still trying to make money. Like you're trying to figure things out. Which, I mean, that's all any of us can do. That's all the pandemic has taught me is like, no one knows shit about anything.
No.
And like in an instant, life can change, and I felt that way about my stepdad's stroke and other things. Like things can change like that, and it's all about how you adapt and hopefully like try to take the good out of whatever situation you're in.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure as a bartender you have a lot of stories that you can use for your stuff, you know, your work.
Between the haircuts and the ridiculous
Yeah, you have a lot to work with.
Drink requests.
But I personally think I don't know who am I to say this, you know, like I said, this is my first time meeting you.
You're a decorated film creator. Please compliment me.
All right. I'm just saying, I think right now, like the things you're going through right now, I went through them as well. So as long as you're like, don't get discouraged, and that's easier said than done. But if you do not get discouraged, I mean, and you find something where you find something that you love, where you're like, you're going to work hard and it doesn't feel like it's working hard. Mm-hmm. Then like the sky is really the limit. But you have to be positive about it, and you do seem like a very positive, outgoing person. You know, I'm sure we all, artists, creatives, we all get in our heads. We get in our way more than other people do. But if people around you believe in you, I've felt that way too. Like where I'm like down on my luck and people pick me up, and I'm like, oh, this really isn't about me. It's about people who believe in me. They still need me to go, you know? So.
Yeah. Well, it's also just like people who love you and like want you to be happy. Exactly. And then like, that's like, they know.
Because you don't want to be at a job that you're going to be fucking miserable at.
Exactly. That's why I left them.
And that's kind of controlling your own, saying destiny is a little weird, but
narrative.
Your narrative. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
I told you I'm great with words.
You are, because I'm like, yeah, that thing that you listen to when the movie's play. You mean score, you fucking idiot? Yes. But no, Jen, thank you for hopping on.
Yes,
and talking and just, you know, we did have a structure, but I loved it this way a lot better. Just to kind of get to know you, talk to you, and just hear about like where you're at with your beginning of your journey. And I really can't wait to see what you have in the next few months, few years, and all that. So do you want to promote anything, maybe your new show and maybe TikTok or something?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me just make sure I know my TikTok name, because cut that out.
Oh, yeah.
No, hold on. Let me make sure my
volume no.
is down.
Please take your time. I will trim it. It's all good.
Okay. I just need to make sure it's correct. Oh, it is. Okay. So, yes, I would. I do have a YouTube channel with my friend Ralph. It's currently called Double Feature Creature Show. We are thinking about changing the name, but it's basically just me and my friend Ralph basically being like, I can't believe you haven't seen this movie. And we pick a category. So, for example, the first episode, the category was vampires. My choice was Twilight.
Of course.
Yes. His choice was Nosferatu, which is like iconic vampire movie. So we have reactions, reviews, and, you know, all of it on our first few episodes. And we just did a TV review mini-sode, which might be the direction we're going. By the time this podcast comes out, it might be different.
I hope you have a lot more episodes to promote.
We have 4 right now.
Hell yeah.
4. So if
the name changes, we will definitely change it in the description of the Instagram post.
I wanted to change it before I met up with you. I was like, Ralph, we need to figure this out. I have one day.
I have one day. It's like, you could have warned me about it.
We talked about it a month ago, and he was like, I don't know. So, you know, if anybody watches it and wants to comment name suggestions, we are open to anything.
Double Feature Creature Show
on YouTube.
What's wrong with that name?
Because it's not always a double. We wanted it to always be a Double Feature Creature Show, but now we're trying to move into other things, and we don't want it to.
You could always branch off to like Double Feature Creature Show presents like mini, so like that. You could definitely do that. I love the name.
I do too.
So you could definitely do that and just like branch out. So I hate to use I always hate to use the this is an example, like Barstool does like different shit under their name.
Right.
So you could easily do that.
So his Ralph's thought process was, I don't know if you know Red Letter Media on YouTube, but they're basically, they do a lot of movie reviews, and that's like their production name. Red Letter Media presents.
Yeah, you could do double feature Creature Presents. Yeah.
So we're working on it. I don't know. It'll probably, hopefully it'll be changed, honestly, by the time this comes out.
Hopefully.
And yeah, if you'd like, stop laughing.
I hate it.
No, I don't hate. Ralph hates it.
Oh, okay.
And he's
come on, Ralph. I don't know where you are, but come on, man. No, I'm kidding.
And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I am at Jenstagram. That is JENSTAGR_AM.
Very clever.
Thank you. But yeah. I'm fun on there. Sometimes
and you're that on TikTok, you said.
That
too,
is
right?
both my handle on Instagram and TikTok.
You weren't like Gen Talk? You don't
no,
want to be Gen Talk?
I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I probably look like such a millennial by having it be an Instagram thing.
Such a millennial.
But I don't care. It's a lot of stuff about Taylor Swift on my TikTok. So if you like Taylor Swift, then you would enjoy my TikToks.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion about her.
That's okay. Watch my TikToks, you'll change your mind.
She's slaughtering every actor I love out there.
Well,
we
think that she's gay, so that's our
Who's
whole...
we?
There's a community of us.
Oh, cool.
They call us gaylers.
Why do you think she's gay?
Well, you would have to... I explain it in my TikToks.
Okay, all right. So
it's too much to get into. It would be its whole
It'd be another 2-hour
podcast.
All right.
Yes, but there's a lot. Well, we think she's at least bi. We don't know for sure.
I'll do it off air so it doesn't.
Oh, whatever.
I mean, like Tropic Thunder said, everyone's gay once in a while. It's Hollywood, so.
I think everybody's gay all the time. Everyone's a little gay, is how I feel. And
I mean,
a little bit.
I could see that. If if you're very open about, that man's really if I say a man's attractive,
I think
like
if society wasn't so
cripplingly
strict towards men about what they're allowed to do, or allowed in quotes, then I think the world would be a very different place.
Yeah. This is very off topic. I feel very weird about, my wife wants to bring me to go get a pedicure and a manicure, and I'm like, no. And
See
she's like,
what the world has done to you?
And she's they have failed me. And she's like, you don't want your fucking feet massaged? Your nails clipped? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want someone to... She's like, wait on you hand and foot, literally?
They give you a back massage. They give you like a neck massage too. Yeah. Oh, and while they're doing your feet, you get to lay in a massage chair. And then while your nails are drying, they rub your neck.
When you go, really quickly,
I don't go.
Okay.
I bite my nails. And I don't like people touching my
touching
toenails.
All right.
It gives me
you're the wrong person to ask. But I was going to say, if you've ever gone, how many...
I have gone.
Okay. How many men have you seen there?
I don't go enough to even
Gotcha.
I have a comment on that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking I really want to go because my feet, they be hurting, man.
Go. You'll surprise. You know what I will actually let you know? This is exciting. Actually, you just reminded me. So when my grandma was still alive, and my grandpa is still alive, but he's like 94.
Yeah.
When she was still, and they were probably like in their late 80s, he went with her to go get like his hands done. He fucking loved it. He was like, because they would just like...
Nothing gets more manly than a 94-year-old man who's seen some shit.
Like, and is, like he was born in the 20s. Like, he can't even make himself a fucking sandwich. That's how much of a man that he is.
Oh, gotcha.
Like,
okay.
He doesn't, like, he relied on women for his entire life. He can't even make, whatever. But he was like, he went and got, his nails fixed.
Did he
clipped,
love it?
Buffed, shined, loved it. Went with her like once a week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I don't even want to say I'm gonna have to cave because it just sounds something like it's just so good.
You need to get over it.
Yeah, I need to not walk in and be like, oh my God, I'm instantly gay for doing it. That's people's mindset, and it's not even that. It's like, what? Why
it's
not
personal
take care?
hygiene,
but why not take care of yourself? Exactly.
Like men.
That is true. No, that is true.
Have you heard this? That men think it's gay. There's men in the world who think it's gay to wash their asshole. Do you know this? Are you one of them?
No. That shit needs to be clean.
Yeah, that's a thing. They're like, nope,
to be
if I
the same-
touch my butthole, it's gay.
I mean, my wife has she vouched to have a bidet in our.
Oh, wow.
On our
yes.
toilet.
How do you like it?
It's like I walk around like a new man now.
I hear it. They're life changing.
But I'm not like sitting there like.
No,
like,
we
you know.
know.
But it's like super like. Man, this like it does the job. Like fuck
I don't
toilet
understand.
paper.
Do you still have to like dab up the wetness after you're done with
Yeah,
toilet paper?
there's an option where you can dry it, but I
oh my
just,
god, it blow dries your asshole.
Yeah, but I tried that. I was like, this shit ain't really that dry. So
Oh
I
my
do stand up and I do dry
goes-
it. Yeah. They pour fucking like a waterfall on that shit like TLC, and then it's just like.
Oh my god.
And then you're like, all right, well, I'm still fucking soaking wet down there.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I didn't know that. One of my funnier things I see on Twitter is like, fellas, is it gay to, like, I saw something the other day where some girl's like, she tweeted out, ordering dessert. If a man orders dessert,
my
it's
God.
mad gay. And I wrote on Twitter, I was like, fellas, is it gay to have a sweet tooth?
Is it gay to eat?
Yeah, really? Is
Like-
it gay to eat? Like, come on. Like, there's these so much stipulations with stuff.
No,
man.
and as like what we were saying before, as a bartender, like men think drinks are very gendered, which is insane. It's a beverage. And I understand like society did this. The drink doesn't have sexuality.
No.
And I've poured drinks for men, like even like something that's very innocuous, like I don't know, a vodka club or something. And at our bar, it comes in like a tall, they call it,
Martini
what do you call it? A
glass or
Tom
something?
Collins glass.
Okay.
Like a tall, it's just like a tall or a highball
Yeah,
glass.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's just a skinny
Tall-ass
cylinder,
glass. Yeah.
for fuck's sake. And we give it to them and they're like, oh no, this is too feminine of a glass. Put it in a rocks glass.
Oh,
and it's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
sir, how fragile is your masculinity that you can't?
It has to be.
Oh, and then God
Yeah.
forbid we put a straw in their drinks because straws are gay. Definitively
I'm
gay.
not putting my fucking mouth on a glass from Applebee's.
Fuck the turtles.
Yeah.
And the straws, they're gay. That's why I won't use them. Like, are you kidding
I
me?
still like myself a plastic straw because the paper straw
Hell
just disintegrates.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get, but yeah, it's
no,
man.
because they think it's phallic to sip on a straw.
Jesus
I
Christ.
know, it's insane.
Those
This
are the-
world that we're living
Those are the
in.
closeted.
And they take it out on us.
Those
these-
are the closeted people.
No,
Really?
but no, I'm just saying, like, it's society in general, the fragile masculinity, when men feel like they're emasculated, they take it out on everyone else. It
Oh,
causes
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of anger and pent up shit in men. I have a whole dissertation about this. I'm not going to get into it. But it's
Well,
a
the
whole
show
thing.
Euphoria is really good with that topic.
Mhm.
Like it kind of shows.
I mentioned Euphoria on my latest episode that dropped
Oh,
last night
nice.
called What We're Watching Now on Double Feature Creature Show.
Nice. Yeah, we gotta check that out. But no, I it seems as if I could talk to you for hours. I appreciate you like having me come here and talk with you, and thank you for coming on and talking and about some really serious shit that I think needs to be talked about. And without a doubt, we're gonna do another episode.
Hell
at
yeah.
some point. I don't know what we're gonna do. We could talk about the 9 to 5 or whatever, but we're gonna do another episode down the road. But thank you, Jen, again for coming on, and I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me and having me. I had the best time.
I appreciate it, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, this is Where Is My Mind, a podcast about mental health and the arts. I'm host and producer of the podcast, Christopher Orangeo. All episodes will be available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, and Amazon Music. Once again, this is Chris Orangeo, and thank you for supporting.